All right, friends, welcome back to Build a Lot Acres. We have a really cool, unique project to show you today. Let's see what it is. So what do you guys think? I think this thing is pretty darn cool. So obviously it's a miniature conveyor. It's got an 8-foot long conveyor with a 6-inch wide belt, and there's a cleat every 2 feet. Now I can't say as to, obviously this is a homemade job. My father, believe it or not, actually bought this for $50 at a flea market. He had it at his house for quite a while, probably, I'm going to say a couple of years, and I asked him about it. I said, what are you going to do with that conveyor? And he wanted to turn it into a project, but, things happen in life. He changed his mind. So I said, well, if you don't mind, do you mind if I grab it? He ended up giving it to me for free. So a big shout out to Senior Build a Lot if you're watching. Thank you very much. So I have some big plans for this. This is going to be an excellent addition to the wood yard for my firewood processing. I'm going to be having the super split feed right onto this, and then I'll have this dumping into a cart with a dump box on the Coyote. And there are a few things I want to do to this. We're going to go over those in today's video. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is change these little tires. These are 10-inch hard tires. You can see they're pretty worn out. They got holes. They're just not good at rolling over rough terrain. So I'm going to swap these out for some 16-inch wheelbarrow tires. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is kind of replace some of the parts that are worn out. Got quite a bit of wood on here that's got dry rot. So I'm going to have to take a look at that. Some of the stuff's bent. I'm just going to look the whole thing through, see what needs to be replaced. And the final step is going to be applying a nice coat of paint to this. I'm going to paint it red, I think, to match the super split. Maybe some red or some black trim here and there. I think that's going to look really sharp. So I don't know if you guys could hear that, but when it was running, you could hear the cleats rubbing on something. And there's a screw point right here, comes up from the bottom. That's what the cleats were hitting, so let's get rid of that. So it's still rubbing on those two bolt heads. I don't know if you can see them. There's one there and there's another one on this side behind that piece of angle iron. So what I'm going to have to do is tighten this belt up. There's a little bit of slack in it. Whoever made this was pretty sharp though. I don't know if you guys can see this good, but he's got a slide here, and it looks like if I move this in and out, I can adjust the belt. that's a lot better. We got the belt tightened up quite a bit, and now it's clearing those nuts and nothing's rubbing. So let's figure out these tires. So my original plan was to make my own spindle out of a piece of 3/4 inch rod and, heat it up with a torch in the middle, bend it in an L shape. I would have used an old spindle from a garden tractor, but all the ones I have a 1 inch top piece and then a 3/4 inch bottom. This one's 3/4 all the way, so that's not going to work. And I also would have to figure out how to attach the tie rod holder onto my homemade one. So rather than do all that work, I was thinking about it. What I'm going to do is just extend this. I'm going to get a pipe that's a similar inside diameter as this, and then an outside diameter that's about 3/4, so it'll work in the new tires. So this is what I end up coming up with. It's not a perfect fit, but I think it will work for now. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade it a little bit, but for now this will give me the ability to put new tires on it and roll it around a lot easier. Well, I think that looks a whole lot better with those bigger tires. I mean, you can see just how much bigger they are than the old tires that were on there. It went from a 10-inch tire to a 16-inch tire, air-filled. I think those are rollover, rough terrain, much better. Happy with how things are going so far. So I was hoping to get a little bit more done today, but just too hot. It's about 91 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be about 33 degrees Celsius. So it's a boiler out there. Tomorrow's supposed to be the same. So I'm probably gonna take it easy, do some stuff inside, maybe do some editing, catch up on other friends' videos, and etc. So adding those extensions to the tires was a different project. I've never done anything quite like that. And normally, I don't think that would hold up, but for this conveyor, it's probably gonna stay in the same spot. I'm not gonna wheel it around very much, so I think it will hold up. But that would have been a perfect project for a little lathe. Speaking of lathes, if you guys haven't seen Garden Tractor Boy's YouTube channel, you really should go check him out. His name's Joseph. He's a young guy in England. Him and his father do a lot of really cool projects. They have a Workshop Wednesday series where they go over old tools. And one of those tools is a miniature lathe, which I think is really cool. Be perfect for projects like this. Wish we were neighbors, man. If you guys ever want to move over to the US, let me know. And I'll get you a piece of land nearby. But until next time, have a good one, friends.